going to do today. Today is Shabbat, of course, and we are going to study the Parasha of the week. And the Parasha is made up of a scripture reading that is designated for this certain Shabbat. And it is studied, read, and studied in synagogues all around the world. It is an amazing way of being in unity. So imagine that the whole world is on the same Bible study, right? And so you go to anybody who is one of God's people and you can say, so what did you think of the Parasha? And you can get into start talking about the scriptures. You all know which one you're talking about. For today's Parasha, it is called Ve'yahi. You will find that, I think, on your, just at the top of your second page. All right, so you can see that that is from the book of Genesis. In Hebrew, it's Bereshit, chapter 47, starting at 28 and going to 50:26. Then it also includes what is called a Haftorah, which is a prophetic portion. And we've also included a New Covenant portion of Scripture that usually relates from the New Covenant or the New Testament. So we're going to spend the first part, a little bit of time talking first, discussing the Parasha and gleaning some richness from these scriptures, coming into unity with God's people all over the world in studying this. And after that, we will just go into some teaching on Shabbat itself, because Shabbat is the foundation of everything. Shabbat is the foundational feast, and a lot of times people talk about the feasts of the Lord, and they're talking about all the festivals, and they're forgetting that Shabbat is the foundational one. It's the one that all the rest come out of and stand on. All right, so this parasha deals with the death of Jacob. Jacob, or Yaakov in Hebrew, his name was changed to Israel. And this is just the Word of God that is divided into all the different portions and has some rabbinic commentaries and things like that. So it just was a gift to me that I like to use. It says, and so Yaakov, Jacob, lived in the land of Egypt for 17 years. All right, so here they are in Egypt. Jacob had his 12 sons, and he was reunited, of course, with Joseph, his favorite son, Joseph. And Joseph brought his sons to him for a blessing before he died. And you probably know the story that Jacob went to put his right hand on the younger son, right, who was Ephraim, which would indicate that he had the higher blessing. And Joseph said, no, Father. He thought he was getting senile maybe. And he said, no, you got it mixed up. You know, put your hands. He says, no, I know what I'm doing. He said, the younger one will be greater. All right? And this has often happened in Scripture, that it was not the firstborn that received the blessing, but it was the youngest, sometimes the younger one, or like David, like Moses. Yeah. Many times it was not the firstborn that did receive the firstborn blessing, but the younger one. And something that I liked from this parasha was that when Jacob said, I had not thought to see your face, and look at here, God has let me see your sons also. And I think that there's a message of hope that comes through this reading, that situations can look very bad for a while, and we can think it's all over, you know, there's no hope in this. I mean, they brought him Joseph's coat full of blood and said that he was dead. And he said, I never thought I would see even your face again. And here I have seen even your sons. Not only seen you, but seen your sons. It says God will do even more than we can ask or even expect or imagine. And so I believe that if we maintain a good attitude, an attitude of hope, then God will bless, and he will bring blessing even out of things that we thought were hopeless situations. All right. I just want to pray for a minute before we just keep going. Thank you, Lord. Toda Abba. Ata Gadol, you are great. You are wonderful. You are awesome. You are merciful. And Lord, without you, we can do nothing. So I ask you, Lord, to rise up. Kuma Adonai. That you would put a hedge of protection and a shield all around us today in this place. This place would be covered with the blood of the Lamb, Yeshua HaMashiach. That everyone in here would be covered. That the enemy would be silenced, and that you would give freedom, Lord. Freedom to speak your word. And that your Holy Spirit would come and interpret and minister here, Lord, in Yeshua's name. Thank you, Lord. All right. So now we have Israel, or Jacob, stretching out his hands. And he puts his hands on the sons of Joseph, and he gives them a blessing. And now this blessing he gives to the younger one, Ephraim, that he says, let's go back. Yeah, okay. He said the blessing that he gives and that Israel now uses to bless their sons is Yesimcha Elohim ki Ephraim ve'ki Manasseh. So on Friday nights or on Shabbat, the father can bless his sons. There's a blessing for the daughters too, but it's a blessing that the fathers can bless their sons with this blessing that Jacob used. May the Lord make you like Ephraim and Manasseh. And this is what Jacob said about Ephraim. Now Ephraim comes from the root pri, which means fruit. So Ephraim means fruitful. All right, we lived in a place in Israel called Poria. It's from the same root of pri, which means fruitful. So he said that Ephraim's seed shall become Melo Hagoyim, which means the fullness or the multitude, you could say of the nations, or you could also say of the Gentiles. That from out of Ephraim would come a huge multitude of Goyim. Now, as you know, who we have left of Israel is from the tribe of Judah, is the Jewish people. But that was not all. Jacob had 12 sons, and you know that the 10 of the tribes have been basically lost. And I don't want to make a big issue out of this, because it is a huge controversy raging right now in the Messianic world. But I just do want to share with you that in Hosea, the Lord says that he will scatter Israel throughout the nations. And they will become as Gentiles, and they will lose their Israelite identity. And then he says one day he will gather them in. And they will know who they are. And of course we know that the tribes have to be restored at the end of time, because at the end of time everyone will know what tribe they're from, right? So that's in end time prophecy. So somehow we've got to figure out or find these people. Now there's always reports, oh, they found a lost tribe here, and but there are pockets of people throughout the world where they still retain sort of Israelite customs. They maybe light candles on Shabbat, they keep the Shabbat, or different things that indicate that there's a remnant of people that may have Israelite background that have just been scattered all over the world and sort of forgotten who they are. And in the book of Hosea, God says to the husband who had these children, call her name Lo Ruchama. This is chapter 1, verse 6. All right, you know the story of Hosea. Hosea, in my Bible, comes after Ezekiel, but it may be a little different order than yours. But in the book of Hosea, chapter 1, verse 6, God says, call her name, the child of adultery, Lo Ruchama. Lo means no, and Ruchama is mercy. Her name means no mercy. For I will no longer have mercy on the house of Israel, but I will utterly take them away, and yet I will have mercy on the house of Judah and will save them. So we have to understand this little bit of history in Israel, that Israel was divided between Judah, the 2 tribes of Judah, and the 10 tribes of Israel. All right, so God prophesied here, he will not have mercy on these 10 tribes. He will take them away, but he will retain these tribes of Judah. And that's exactly what happened. And then when this child was weaned, then she had a son, and God said, call his name Lo Ami. Lo means no, and Ami is my people. For you are not my people, I will not be your God. These people almost get disowned. And then it gives a prophecy, yet the number of the children of Israel will be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured or numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said to them, you are not my people, Lo Ami, there it will be said to them, you are the sons of the living God. And the children of Judah and the children of Israel shall all be gathered together. I'm not sure if you're catching this, but what it's saying is that the seed of Ephraim that is lost, that will become a huge multitude of people who consider themselves Gentiles, and many who even believe that they were not God's people, Lo Ami, through the blood of Yeshua, have been grafted in to become part of the commonwealth of Israel. And this is how God is regathering his people in order to fulfill this end-time prophecy that Judah and Israel will be one in his hand. Now, this is a huge controversy, all right? There's a lot of opposition to this idea, but there's a very good book that I read called Who is Israel and Why Do You Need to Know? Batya, I'd have to look it up. Batya Wooten, right, where she goes through all the scriptures and she gives an amazing argument for very scriptural, very sound reasoning behind this. And I've only touched on it, but because it was from the Parasha, I thought that I should bring that out and at least give that to you as food for thought. Give that to you. Look through the book of Hosea. Also in chapter 2, verse 23. And if you cross-reference that with 1 Peter 2:9, you will see that that is a word given to people who used to be Gentiles and now are a kingdom of Kohanim, priests. And it says the same thing. 1 Peter 2:9, it says, but you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, his own special people, that you may proclaim the praises of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light, who once, listen to the wording, were not a people, once were Lo Ami, but now are the people of God, who had not obtained mercy. What's he referring to there? See, if you don't understand the Old Testament, you don't get it. Lo Ruchama. Here he's naming those 2 children, Lo Ami and Lo Ruchama.